Hello builders, Scott Selvig here with Construction Ready. Today we're going to do a very fun project, useful project. It's called a phone holder. Holds your cell phone, has a hole for your cord to go through, and while you're sitting at your desk, you don't have to hold your phone, but it will hold it up. One unique thing about it is it can be taken apart. So let's make a phone holder out of pine. So let's start with what you need to start this out. There's two ways you can start the phone holder. Here's a 1x6. I've cut it to 12 inches long, and then I've split it down the middle. You'll need a table saw to do a cut that long. So if you don't have a table saw, which would cut it like this into two parts, each student would get one of these parts. If you do not have that, you can use 5.5 inches of 1x6, and on a miter saw, electric miter saw, the teacher can cut through here because your saw should be able to cut 5.5 this way and 5.5 this way out of a 1x6 board. So the first thing you do, I've given you, every student, 11 7/8 board in this case, and I like to use this because when I work on this board I can clamp it down easily because it's so much extra wood. But when they measure, they'll be taking and measuring 5.5 inches right there. So the mark at 5.5, put a V pointing exactly at the 5.5 point. Take your speed square, put your pencil point to the point, slide over to it, and go down like that. Okay? Now, the other one, let's measure 5.5. For me, this is upside down, but for students, make sure they're measuring 5.5 where the numbers are facing up. So I can lock my tape measure out, mark 5.5, and you'll notice I got extra here, okay? That's on purpose. I want the kids to have a chance to be measuring as much as they can. So they will repeat the same thing. Sliding this over, put your point to your point, slide over to it, and go down where you have right here a right angle and right here a right angle. This is going to be wasted wood. So now you can see the two parts that I have after I cut it. The reason why I have not cut it yet is because the kids can be sanding on it, and the final cut will be here and here. Then all they have left is to sand this board and this board. There's 3 holes that are going to be 1, 2, 3, and those holes are going to be drilled with a 3/4 inch bit. Now the 3/4 inch bit actually matches the exact measurement of a 1x6 that we started with. A 1x material is 3/4 of an inch thick. So that will then be able to slide within there after we cut it out. So the next step is clamping this down after marking. Then we'll drill the holes, clamping it down with a scrap board underneath. Each measurement is 1 3/8 inches from the end. So I'm going to mark 1 3/8 inch. Okay. And then from this end, now I am measuring, I can see this the way I'm measuring. Students should turn it around where they can see their things straight up, their numbers straight up. So 1 3/8, and the other one is 2 3/8. Okay. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3 marks. Each one will then be, you're going to put a little line on each of those points like we've been using our speed square. Put your point to the point and go across. You don't have to go all the way across because we need to find where the middle of this is. And the middle of this is actually, if this is 2 3/4, the middle is 1 3/8 over, so it's right there. So hopefully you've been practicing your measurements. Another way you can do this is you can make a template like this, cut it out, and you can tape it onto your board, and then you can take a nail and you can mark where each hole would be. But I have done it this way because if the students can measure it, I'd like them to be able to measure it. So I'm going to mark these 3 holes with a nail hole. Just tap it in, put the point on there, hold it tight, tap it, put the point on there, hold it tight, tap it. Now those nails are going to be a guide for this little drill bit right here. That point is going to go down into that hole. So now we're going to clamp and drill 3 3/4 inch holes. This can also be done with a drill press, but you have to, if you're doing it with a drill, you have to make sure you are clamped down. You've got a sacrificial piece of wood back here in case you go all the way through, which you're going to have to. And I've left a long length so I can have a good clamping grip on there. So let's drill 3 holes. Okay, now that I've got my 3 holes drilled, I need to mark which ones are going to be cut out, like these 2 examples here. So I'm going to mark, you got to put your pencil right on this edge, and that goes there. You draw a line, put right on this edge, and that goes there. This is going to get cut out of there. The reason why it is 3/4 is because that piece of wood needs to slide right into that board, right into that slot. So we mark square here, and we mark square here. Also, one more place we need to mark square is across this top like this. So if you notice what I did there, I had it there and I'm marking it. So now you can see this is going to be removed. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here, right to my mark and right to my other mark. So here's where it comes in handy to have this much extra wood. I'm not running into the clamp with my jigsaw. Remember, down below the blade is a no hand zone. Line up, and you can get this started for the kids if they are having a hard time doing it, but just start it slow. Hold it down. That was kind of bouncy, so what I'm going to do is, and I have enough room for it, move that in so it's a little more stable. Students need to be looking right at that blade, so they might have to lean over a bit, but their hands can be on top still anyway. So while everybody else is sanding their boards full length, getting them ready to cut the holes and cut out the grooves, the other people will be using the jigsaw and the drills with an adult supervision. When you're done, you can do final sanding. If you want to sand inside this circle, all you got to do is roll up some sandpaper as tight as you can, and you can sand inside these curved areas or wherever you want to. And then you are ready to use your brand new phone holder for your phone and charger.